There's no fun like scaring people. And one of the joys for me and Jeremy is just taking things that frighten us and trying to find the best way to put that out there on screen or on stage, and hope that if it's working on you, it'll work on other people. So I'm delighted to hear that there are moments that will stay with you. Very often it can be just the strangest simple image that just when you close your eyes at night, you cannot shake.
Well, what still scares you? What still frightens you even to this day? Was there a fright you had as a child that has never left you? Have we ever seen that depicted on screen? Have you ever tapped into that?
I mean, what scares me sounds very cheesy, but it's not a comfortable thing. What scares me is what humans do to each other. That's the scary thing. And that's one of the things within ghost stories, is for all of the monsters, for all of the ghosts, be kind. Be kind to each other.
You come back to it with fresh eyes. Did parts of it trouble you more than they had done earlier? I mean, did you come back and see what you'd written and think, gosh, what was I thinking? How deranged was I?
You mean troubled as in disturbed? No, although it all became that bit more real because you knew you were going to film it, and that's very different to staging it, which has more of an escape valve in it. So it completely got under our skins, that's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, was horror something you thought? I mean, you've worked in a lot of genres. Was that one you thought, I fancy, given the right script, having a go at a horror?
Well, to me, given the right script, that's the phrase for anything. You know, we're very hung up on genre in our culture at the moment. And to me, of course, I just think, well, I'm just making a film. You know, because there are stories like this and there are stories like that, and I don't really see a massive difference between the. You don't approach it any differently. You don't think, oh, I'm making a horror film now, or I'm making a sci-fi. There's none of that. You are just, because your job does not change. You know, your job is exactly the same whatever you're in. So for me, it's when you see it when it comes out and you go, oh wow, that really was a horror film.
What I liked about this was the character as much as the horror. Yeah. The fact that he is this like slightly complex, cynical bloke who's ended up in this world, who's actually very bright, and you know, a succession of mishaps has taken him down this route. You know, so
it very much. I mean, I couldn't but not think of him, poor Tony, being there, man and boy, in that pub, being scared to death, man and boy.
25 years, man and boy. Good.
Simon's story develops a lot in the film compared to what happened in the stage play. I mean, you got a lot to play with. How was it approaching that character? Because he doesn't look well. I mean, that was intense.
Really? A lot of fun, because Jeremy and Andy are a lot of fun. And so, yes, things are very intense, but that means that in between takes, the tension has to break, and therefore we ended up just giggling a lot, really.
People won't believe that when they see the film.
No.